Josh, got it. First and foremost, my name is Mike, and I am an alcoholic. My sobriety date is February 7th of 2011. I want to thank everyone for this opportunity to give the lead. Heather asked me to do it, and Josh, I want to say thank you for the introduction. And everybody for joining this meeting. This is my first time doing a Zoom meeting, so we'll see how it goes. But again, I'm just grateful for everyone coming out. Congratulations on all the anniversaries. A lot of clean time going on and a lot of newcomers, which is great to see. It's definitely got to be tough to get sober when there's no meetings around, right? And it's great that all you guys are doing this to give that hope online and continue carrying the message, even though some people can't meet in person. With that being said, like I said, Heather asked me, and she said, come up with a topic. And my usual go-to, I decided to speak or, give a lead on the third step, right? The third step to me is extremely important. All the other steps kind of lead back to this third step. And it's really the foundation of the actions, right? The foundation of what this program actually means for this program, right? You have a difference between meetings and fellowship, and then you have a difference of the actual program, the 12 steps, right? The 12 steps, AA didn't save my life. The 12 steps saved my life. I want to so badly sit here and say it's the same thing, but in reality, it's not. We get confused these days with meetings and the 12 steps. I'm a huge fan of meetings. I go to as many as I can, but meetings alone did not save my life. After 4 months of just going to meetings, it wasn't working, right? And then I found a sponsor and got into the book and got into the steps, and that's what did it for me. So like I said, the third step, a lot of people say that, the third step is just making a decision to go on with the rest of the steps, right? Which is, yes, is 100% true. But there's a lot more to this third step that for me helped me to understand more about this higher power deal and more about why I need this higher power deal, and allowed me to be more willing and open-minded to this higher power deal, right? A lot of us struggle with this higher power coming into these rooms, right? For me, in my experience, I thought I thought I got away from God and higher power a long time ago, and I never had to deal with it again. And when I came into these rooms, this word God and higher power started coming up, and it started making me feel a certain way, right? But the third step helped me with that. The third step helped me with that in a way of that it's no longer up to me, right? I no longer am able to run my life, right? And when the third step was actually broken down to 3 ideas, it made a lot more sense to me, right? In the book, there's 3 main points to this third step, right? The first one being that the first requirement is that we be convinced that any life run on self-will can hardly be a success, right? That's the first thing I have to understand first and foremost. That left up to me, my life could hardly be a success, right? I'm always in collision with something or somebody, even though my motives are good, right? I want the best for me. I want the best for my family. I want the best for others around me. But when I'm living on self-will, I cannot be successful. When I'm trying to do it all on my own and when I think I know all the answers, my motives are perfectly good, right? I'm not out here trying to cause harm. I'm not out here trying to cause damage. I'm trying to do my best. But the fact of the matter is, I cannot live on self-will and be successful. And that was proven to me. Right? And he goes on to say, like, we're the actor trying to run the show, control the lights, seat everybody, get the all the music going, the pamphlets, right? Making the popcorn. We're trying to do everything, right? And what happens? The show doesn't go off right, and we double down. We try harder, right? One of my favorite lines in the book that he talks about is that I fall under delusion that if I could just manage well, life will be okay, right? And that goes into sobriety. That goes in after 10 and a half years or whatever. There's still times on a daily basis where I fall under that delusion that if I just manage well, life's going to be okay, right? And the fact of the matter is that I learned in step one that my life's unmanageable. And nowhere in the book does it tell me that I get returned back to management, right? It's not the insanity in the second step where we get returned back to sanity. I don't get returned back to manage, to be manageable, right? That's something that that's something that I had to learn the hard way in sobriety, that if I could just manage my life well, everything would be okay, right? And he goes on to say that the second point that I like to point out and look at is selfishness, self-centered. That's, we think, is the root of our problems. Driven by 100 forms of fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, self-pity, we step on the toes of our fellows and they retaliate, right? That's the nature of my problem. Selfishness, self-centeredness, driven by 100 forms of fear, right? There was no life decision that I made prior to working these steps that was not driven by some sort of fear. A fear is losing something that I want or not getting something, losing something that I have or not getting something that I want, right? And any life decision was based off of a fear, right? I heard a speaker say one time, driven by, right? I get up in the morning, the car pulls up and it's fear, and I get in the back seat and he drives me around town and he drops me off. And the next day I wake up and self-pity pulls up and he drives me around town, right? I'm driven by these things. I'm making life decisions based off of these things. We step on the toes of our fellows and they retaliate, right? I mean, we're causing damage. Like we said in the beginning, our motives are good, right? There's times we have really good motives. There's times we're really trying. There's times where we're just trying to manage well. We step on the toes, they retaliate, because the fact of the matter is, at my core, I'm selfish. I'm selfish and self-centered, right? And then the final part, right, later on, he says we have to quit playing God. It doesn't work, and the whole third step of these turn over our thoughts and our actions, our will and our lives. I didn't understand what will and lives meant. Right. When I first heard that, to be honest, guys, when I first heard that, I thought we're going to be, we have to become monks and lighting candles all the time and passing out, big books at the airport. And this, I pictured this most insane idea, right? Turning my will and my life over. Like, in all reality, he's talking about our thoughts and our actions, right? Our will is our thoughts, our lives are our actions. Turning over our thoughts and our actions to something, right? And I know with the people that are newer and struggling with the God idea, it's simple, right? It's simple to the fact of that. Is there something out there greater than human that could possibly help you? And that's all you need. That's all you need to start. That's all you need to continue. That's all you need for this to work. right? You don't have to worry about what it is, what it looks like, what it's going to do, right? The fact of the matter is that if I come to a place, right, when I first get in here, that is there something that could possibly help me with this, then I'm at a starting point. That's all that I need. From that point, whatever that relationship will develop as you go through the rest of the steps, right? I try to make too much of this, right? When I felt I had to figure this out. I felt I had to name it. I had to have a face, all that stuff that a lot of us do, right? But if you're struggling with that idea, we try to keep it as simple as possible, right? You don't have to use what I have. I don't have to use what you have, right? You come up with your own conception, whatever that may be. Is there something that could possibly help you? Right. And going back to that, to my thoughts and my actions, how do I turn that over to something that to something that I have no idea what it is? Right. And it was explained to me, right. And I'll wrap it up with this, is that it kind of works backwards, right? When I go on to that fourth step and I do my inventory and I put it all on paper, for the first time in my life, I could see what my thoughts and my actions are. It's all on paper staring me back in the face. Those are the things that we turn over, right? Those are my thoughts and my actions. Those are the things that we turn over, right? And I start to understand that I cannot be successful doing this on my own. With all great intentions, I fall under that delusion, right? I try to manage the show. I try harder when it doesn't go well, right? I step on the toes of my fellows, they retaliate, because at my core, I'm a selfish, self-centered human being. As much as I don't want to admit, right? And he goes later on and says, I can't just wish that away, right? I can't just wish that away, just as I couldn't wish away alcohol, right? So there's work that has to be done to remove that, right? And I have to quit blaming God, as in thinking that I know what's best for me, thinking I know what's best for you, trying to control your emotions, trying to control my emotions, trying to control so much, right? We try to control so much. As we go through this process and continue on a daily basis to do the best that we can, because we're not saints, right? We start to understand that life just becomes a series of these surrenders, right? We go through some stuff in sobriety. We go through some stuff in early sobriety, and we start surrendering. We start surrendering some ideas. We start surrendering things that we're going through, and we get through it and we grow from it, right? And as soon as we get past that, something else comes up, right? And we continue to surrender that, right? It's just a series of these surrenders that we're constantly giving up. In all reality, that makes us stronger, and closer to our fellows and closer to that higher power. So again, I really appreciate the opportunity. Congratulations to everybody, on their dates. And this is the greatest thing that is, deciding to go through with getting a sponsor and working the steps will be by far the greatest decision you'll ever make. And just don't look back, and every day, just give it the best that you got. Again, thank you for asking me, and thank you very much.